Hey guys, Dustin the crew. We're at the Swat Broadhead booth. I'm with Scott Romero here. And this is a pretty unique head. This is called the Vector. So I'll tell you what I see, and then we'll let Scott tell you what he sees. But basically it's a 4-blade front plane broadhead. What's the cutting diameter and cutting surface?
When you on entry, you'll get a total 2-inch cut. It won't be a slice, but it'll be an X pattern 2-inch cut.
So one of the most unique things about this is that you can actually change the cutting diameter of the broadhead. So tell us a little bit about that, Scott.
So when it's in the full cutting diameter position, it'll cut 1.75 in 2 directions. Whenever you want to modify the cutting diameter, all you have to do is loosen your broadhead, move the collar that's threaded, and it'll go from 1 inch to 1.75 and anywhere in between. So the reason we came up with this was a dad and a son can hunt with the same broadhead. Shoulder injury, you can hunt with your same broadhead. If you're hunting whitetails, let's say you're hunting whitetails in the Midwest, you're shooting a fairly decent KE, heck, you may want it at 1.75 for a whitetail.
So basically, just to clarify, you're talking about the amount of penetration it requires, or amount of momentum, I guess, and kinetic energy it takes to shoot 1.5 inch mechanical versus a 1-inch mechanical. Talking about penetration with a mechanical blade head.
Right, and then if you want to go elk hunting, let's say you're going elk hunting in September, and you want to dial it back a little bit, just dial it down for what you feel is comfortable for an elk, and maybe dial it down to 1 inch.
And so, you've never, I guess you guys obviously have tested it, but you don't see any change in point of impact or any of that depending on where, what diameter it's at. No. Do you have to adjust it, I guess is what I'm asking?
No. As far for flying purposes, for shooting, all our heads hit the same as the field point. A lot of that's the parabolic shape of the head, even at high speeds.
Sure.
But from entry to exit, dialing the blades back doesn't affect how it tracks through the animal or through the target.
Sure.
Just deeper penetration. If you shoot it in clear gel, and I go from the 1.75 to here, it'll penetrate almost 6 inches deeper.
Gotcha. So if I go out and I shoot this at, all the way up, so I got the big cutting diameter, I dial it back and shoot it, my point of impact should be the same?
Exactly the same.
Cool. Very cool. It's a 4-blade mechanical. Oh, tell us about the tip.
All right, on all of our models except for the hybrid, we use a bladed tip. The tip is made of 440C, so it's actually stronger than a Chisel Point. And it functions similar to a Chisel Point because the secondary tip supports the front tip, and if the front tip starts to dig into a large bone, this will push it off just like a Chisel Point would.
Gotcha.
And you also see that our fixed blades are on a different axis than our mechanical blades, so you've got 4-axis cutting on 8 cutting edges.
Very cool. All right, guys, that's the Vector from Swat Broadheads.